Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the X First Global channel. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be talking about Ripple or XRP's price action and talk about the overall price action via the wave theory. We have a few scenarios that are of high probability that I hope can help you with your journey on whether this is deemed as a good investment or not. As I must cater to both the bulls and bears, I hope my analysis does show a neutral approach to help build your own thesis on the bearish or bullish outcome. But nevertheless, I do share my probabilities and personal sentiment that is deemed not financial advice. So with our first scenario here, we have a very interesting scenario here that I believe is also still in play. It's just easily divided as a series of 1-2s being built here. And the reason we have series of 1-2s built here is because of price action history. It's been built up since 2013, so this gives XRP a little bit of freedom on terms of how we can do our wave counts and give us a little bit more idea on how these corrections have played out throughout the years. But my first idea here is the most important thing is that we did have a clean 5-wave move up for here. Now, we could just completely ignore this idea here. Or just say that this wave 1 was also the beginning and we're working in a different type of nested structure. But again, this idea to me looks like a 5-wave move up, very clear, into some kind of cycle wave 1 degree. Now, there is an idea where we can say that this is a wave 1, 2, 3, and we're working in some kind of larger triangle of some sort, which I'll go over in just a moment. But this idea right here, we do have the idea of working again with the price history, given that this move up was a 5-wave move up into some kind of cycle 1 degree. So if this cycle 1 degree is complete, we're looking for whatever, some kind of ABC or corrective structure down for a cycle wave 2. We have a WXY here. And again, this is very interesting because XRP is one of the few coins that show strong overlaps. Now, this is due to the fundamental progress of how XRP has been behaving over the past few years. We've had a lot of accumulation going on since 2018, so 6 or 7 years or so of pure accumulation, lots of upbursts and lots of downward price action. So when you're combining all of that, we can utilize that fundamental idea between XRP's technical analysis, that meaning that due to these fundamental analysis and the wave theory giving a narrative, again, the wave theory itself is an observation. So we use those observations to create technical patterns via those types of patterns given by the Elliott wave theory. So the first idea here, again, we have that cycle wave 1, 2 being complete. And then this next idea, this major move up, this can be, we have to see whether that is the beginning of something or part of something. Now, in my opinion, I think this is also possible where we can see a very large expanded leading diagonal into a wave 1. Now, it's just the only way we can put it because this is the first type of large or type of move that we had to the upside that was next to this type of size of a wave 1. So the next idea would be we would be working in some kind of primary degree wave 1. Now the idea here, remember there's some rules and guidelines that we have to obtain to. Again, wave 5, it has to be longer than wave 3. Wave 4 has to be longer than wave 2, and it has not moved beyond the point of wave 2 as well. So the most important thing here is that we're working in a series of 3 waves. This is all shown in 3 waves, and due to that long history of overlapping because of the SEC case, this has given us that narrative that this could be a leading expanding diagonal. Now, in hindsight, this is pretty much the best way we can put it. At the time of trading, it was very difficult to count as is. We were always looking for some kind of impulse to the upside continuation. We thought this was the continuation of a bull market. Didn't happen. This major dump happened. But again, that major dump followed by this major move to the upside helped us give that overlapping idea of a corrective type pattern up into this actionary totality of a wave 1 cycle degree. So from here, it gets even more trickier because this count here can be really counted many different ways. And if we can count this as some kind of ABC, we can count this as some kind of triangle in the making. But for me, I like the idea that this is some kind of ABC into a W, some kind of 3-way move into an X, and then we're utilizing this as the ABC. And then again, we have so many different types of ways we can count this. To me, I also see this as a possible truncation for wave 5 because this move here was significant enough for me to say that this was leading us into a different type of wave 1. And again, this should be an intermediate degree of lower degree because we already used up that primary degree. And this idea here should be that completion of some kind of pattern of a corrective move. To me, this looks like a WXY completion. If we have a WXY completion, then that means the correction is either over, or alternatively, I do see this as a possible triangle of some sort as well, meaning that we're looking for a more further continuation to the downside where we had a possible ABCDE correction being completed. So what that means is if we're going to utilize this as some kind of corrective pattern, again, ABCDE, so this triangle should be here. We should be looking for some kind of triangle completion. A wave into this move, which will be the beginning of that correction. B, and then C, we're looking for that C wave completion if we do get a little bit of further downside action. So if this triangle is still being in play, it means that the triangle has just completed for three-way move up into a subwave A, B, C, D, and a truncated E for a short wave E. And this can also complete the triangle in that sense where we are looking for another impulsive five-way move down for wave C. And as long as this intermediate degree doesn't go beyond this previous wave 2, it's still deemed valid, and it should be ending anywhere in between the 30 cent to the 40 cent region. Now we're looking for some kind of at least the minimum of a 618 extension target. If that happens, I believe that can be another good spot for a possible continuation. If not, I do like the idea that the WXY pattern has also finished, meaning that if we do have the WXY finished, it looks like a zigzag into a W, some kind of ABC into a wave X, and then a flat idea into a wave Y that is completed, and we have that wave 2 completion. So this is the first kind of main mega bullish scenario, and then that idea of that triangle is going to be leading us a little into lower territories. So however you are seeing the markets right now overall could be leading us to downside, or this could be the continuation of the upside. So there's really a 50-50% chance if we're deeming this as a completed scenario, or we have one more move down to the downside. So if you see the altcoin market overall in general to the upside, then this idea could be a little bit more sensible to use. And then if we see a little bit more downside for the altcoin markets, then this idea could also be a halfway mark or some kind of more downside action, and that can be a possible deemed more higher corrective impulse to the downside for that wave C, for that wave 2 of that last leg down. So I do like this idea. We do have a possible leading expanding diagonal. This idea was very, very hard to kind of count, but I do believe that this move up was significant enough to say that this was some kind of actionary wave, and the only way we can count that as is some kind of leading expanding diagonal going into wave 1. So XRP is kind of the only count that actually can do that, but there are other cases where we can see for example, XLM. So I'm going to go over XLM in just a second. So that's the sister kind of coin that moves very well with XRP as well. And we also have an expanding type of diagonal here for this wave 1. We had a lot of overlapping territories here as well. So it's very interesting to see this type of price action occurring for XRP, but we're also seeing it for XLM or Stellar Lumen for that price action as well. But if we're going to be a little bit more rational, we can also talk about a possible triangle being built. So then the rational idea for this approach is in the idea that we're creating a larger wave 4 triangle, meaning that we can utilize not just this being a completed wave 1 of the cycle degree, we can say that this is the beginning of wave 1 or even a wave 2 here. And we can just say that this is a 1, 2, 3, and then we're working in some kind of triangle where everything in between has to be now deemed as a 3-wave move. And remember, within a triangle, you can have only one complex correction within a triangle. Remember, we use this as a WXY for wave A. We're looking for an ABC for wave B and another ABC for wave C. Alternatively, we can put a B wave here, B wave here if we're seeing it as a triangle, another A, B, C going into a wave D. So we would see this as an ABC, 3-way move up, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, B, C, and we'll put this as the D wave of the subwave triangle, and then another 3-way move of that triangle, just like I said, either complete as a triangle where we have a very short C wave, or this is going to be quite invalidated. That's why there's these 3 different scenarios in terms of the bullish overlapping territories is all just going to be working within some specific range in terms of demand on how you see this range here. Remember, the invalidation is going to be wave E going surpassing the C wave of that, and of the C wave of the triangle. That is the complete invalidation. Now remember, we can go over or overshoot the trend line just a little bit, or rather, if we do go over that, then you can revert to possibly the other scenario that I just shared, where we might be working in a larger, deeper two. So you can utilize those different scenarios in between, but the most important thing is using this demand zone in terms of where you believe is going to be it, because this invalidation is just same exact invalidation of a possible wave 2 completion here or here, depending on if you see that as a truncated bottom. So this invalidation of the triangle, invalidation of a wave 2, same idea. So all you have to do is draw a rectangle box, and anywhere in between from here where we wicked and anywhere in between the bottom of that invalidation, around 29 cents, possibly 30 cents as the invalidation, is going to be where the main demand is going to be if you're seeing this as a bullish scenario. So anything below that is going to be very bearish. We don't want to talk about the bearish scenario at the time being because none of invalidation has been met. So if we look at the sister coin, XLM, it's a very interesting coin too, because it has a far better look, in my opinion, in terms of the cycle and primary degree being created. I really, really like the XLM chart better than XRP. But if you look at this, we have the same idea of a 5-way move up into this. If we look into this, the same idea of a WXY, we have a clean looking 3, 4, 5-way move, motive wave into a wave 1. And then we have a different type of corrective pattern here, either as an ABC or a WXYXZ that is completed for wave 2 of the primary degree. So this is kind of following in the Bitcoin path in terms of how the move corrected down. And again, utilizing the same idea of some kind of linear expanding diagonal going to an intermediate degree wave 1, and then in a 1, 2, we're looking for a corrective move as well, looking for that possible 101 extension in terms of equality of this length of this partner if we're seeing this as an ABC. So this looks a lot better, and I think if this level holds for XLM, I think XRP could be following the same footpath. But again, XLM more or less likes to follow the footpath of XRP. So if those levels get supported, I do believe that these levels will get supported just as likely. But this is an interesting case because XLM, since it is a sister coin, is type of a coin that you want to be also comparing in terms of how price action moves. And if this has a better look, this can help us give us a little more evidence in terms of what has a better look. But overall, since the price action is moving in more or less the same type of price action, we're going to be looking for how this is going to be going to the upside or downside. But since the move is pretty much more or less the same, XLM and XRP should be moving in the same fashion to the upside. Now, in terms of the risk reward, I believe that XLM does have the same type of risk reward management, but in terms of just pure technical analysis of cycle degrees, this probably has a better look in terms of more possible risk reward ratio for a possible long. But again, we don't know. I think XRP is going to give us a better, clear picture. So if XRP tops out, XLM is going to most likely top out as well. So this count is going to probably evolve into something else, probably a shorter type of different type of move that we're not seeing right now. But for the time being right now, this does have a cleaner 1-2 cycle and a primary 1-2 cycle, because this pattern corrected more or less the same as Bitcoin as a WXYXZ for that wave 2. And then this expanding leading diagonal is the same exact as XRP, same type of corrective pattern that we're seeing for here. Didn't work as a triangle, rather as a WXY of some sort. And we're looking for that ABC or WXY to play out very soon. And again, the demand zone is going to be anywhere between now all the way to this support level of that wave 2, and that is going to be invalidated as well. If this level holds, it's going to be extremely, extremely bullish. So that's kind of the observations I'm seeing for XRP. I do think that XRP has a very bullish outlook if those levels hold. So if these levels hold, bada bing, bada boom, we're out of here. And I think XRP and XLM is going to be moving both in tandem with each other. So hopefully that was helpful, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not already in the Discord membership group, please, if you feel like reaching out to me and you wish to join the X-Force Discord membership, the link is in the description below. If you're not following me on Twitter or X at X-Force Global, please do follow me on there as well, because I do get my daily updates there as well. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you very much. See you guys in the next video or next altcoin analysis. Bye bye.